Hey, Mr. Ang, I completed my math test. Good, but did you show your work? Oh, it looks like I didn't. Sounds like a 0 for you, young lady.
All right, let's move on to section 8.47. Steps to calculate a percent. The first thing I want you guys to do is draw a picture. Draw a picture of the normal curve. You guys remember this guy? Oop, mine's kind of scary. Okay, draw that. Number 2, write down that formula that we just wrote down. Every single time. Step number 3, we're going to go from a z-score, solving for z, to a percent. And this is where we would use our chart. Let's write that below. Use chart. Use that chart right there. Okay. I'll show it to you guys in a second. It looks kind of complicated, but we'll use a smaller one, a smaller version of it in this example. And then lastly, go ahead and just solve. Okay, let's try this example. Calculate the percent of adult men taller than 70 inches, given that the adult men's heights are normally distributed and the mean height is 69.3 inches with a standard deviation of 2.8. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a normal curve. Okay, then I'm going to look for the measure of center. The measure of center is my red one, which is the mean. So there I see the mean height. Switch to a pen. So again, that goes right in the middle. So what I'm doing is I'm just, step number 1, I'm just drawing my picture. Okay, then I'm going to use the standard deviation, which is orange. Remember, this would be a +1 standard deviation or +2.8. 2, 3. So let's write that. Standard deviation is 2.8. And the observed value is 70. So our example, x equals 70. Okay, so what did we just do? Number 1, this is my picture. Check. Let's write down the formula. Here's our formula up here. Z equals x minus the mean over the standard deviation. Okay, so my x value is 70. My mean value is 69.3. And the standard deviation is going to be 2.8. Okay, so let's just write in those values. X was 70, the mean was 69.3, and then the standard deviation is 2.8. Okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get a now I need to figure out the z-score, or just the z value. So you will get 0.7 divided by 2.8, and if you put that in your calculator, is 0.25. So let me also show you what I downloaded there. I'm on an iPad, and this one's called Graph and Calc 83. Graph and Calc 83. It mimics a Texas Instrument 83 calculator. You can go ahead and get one. I would recommend getting a graphing calculator. It's best if you have a physical keyboard, like you have a calculator in hand, but if you need to use the app, then you can. Okay, I have a z-score of 0.25. Okay, now we need to figure out a percent. Now, this is a standardized table here. And let's read what it says here. Table entry for z is the area under the standard normal curve to the left of z. So basically, you're finding the shaded region. The chart will help you find a shaded region, and you're going from the left to the right. That's up to that z-score. So basically, when I look up this value, it's going to find that yellow shaded region. Okay, let's go ahead and look for z equals 0.25. Okay, over here you have the tenths, and then up here you're running by the hundredths. So to give you an example, in blue, let's just say I want a z-score of 0.13. This would be 0.10, and this would be 0.03s, because if you add those together you get 0.13, and so you come down here, and that would be the value. Z equals 0.13 would give me a shaded region. That shaded region would be 55%. Okay, so in our example, we're trying to find 0.25. So here, so this is in the 20s, this is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And that is the score I need, 59.87. I'm just going to write that down. Well, let's note on here. So where is 70 inches on our picture? Well, if you add 2.8 here, this would give us 72.1. And 70, the observed score, is between 69.3 and 72.1, so something like this. Let me just quickly shade that in. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find this blue shaded region. And with our z-score, we just found that value. The value there in orange is 0.5987. Remember, going from left to right, so this represents 59.87. And here's a big idea. Let's pick yellow. If you ever needed to find the other side, I just want you to write this out so you know it. Blue plus yellow equals 1. The area under the curve is equal to 1. So if you know that blue is 59.87, you can subtract it from both sides to find the yellow. Because remember, the blue plus the yellow equals 1. Okay, we did step number 3 here. And that's a 3. Can I write a little bit nicer? That's going from a z to a percent. And we got a z-score of 0.25 using the chart is 59.5987, which is 59.87%. And then I have that there. And basically now we need to solve. Well, it wants to know, and this problem we have to, it wants taller. Taller means, or more, is going towards the right. So they do want us to find the yellow. So I'm just gonna 59.87 plus the yellow equals 1. And if we just subtract 0.5987, we will get the yellow to equal 59.87, 1 minus 0.5987. That gives me 0.4013. Because remember, if you add those two values, I'm just trying to prove that to you, that they equal 1. So 4013. Remember, to go from a decimal to a percent, you just move it over, you multiply by 100, and you'll basically get the yellow to be 40.13%. Gonna double box it, okay? So basically that means that what percent of adult men are taller than 70 inches? 40% are taller than 70 inches. And so that was example A0. Make sure to draw the picture, formula, z-score, look at the chart, percent, and then solve. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to now A1. For A1, we have to use the numbers given to us, which is up here in direction number 3. Calculate each percent using a z-score table. The weight of bags of chips are normally distributed with a mean of 31 and a standard deviation of 4 grams. Okay, so let's first draw ourselves a picture. And in our picture we have 31 is our mean. And then we're looking for 33. And more than 33 means we're going towards the right. Okay, so here's 33. I'm going to put a line here, and more than means going towards the right. So we're trying to find this shaded region. And to do that, I'm going to have to, remember our z-score table only helps us find what's on from left, starting over here. So basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out the yellow, and that'll help us find the red. Okay, in the problem it tells us that the standard deviation is also equal to 4. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we got a picture, and now we got our formula. Always write down the formula every single time. Z equals x minus the mean over the standard deviation. Okay, remember our x value is here, x equals 33. And then the mean is in blue, so that's a 31. And the standard deviation is 4. You're going to get 2 over 4, which is a z-score of 0.5. So I need to find basically z equals 0.5. All right, let's go ahead and click on this table up here. Okay. Oh, I have one. Let me press done. And we need to find that 0.5. So you'll recognize that the z-scores over here are negative. And we go over here, I'm looking for one that's 0.5. Okay, so this would be here and here. So you can write down those numbers: 69146, 69146, 69146, 69146. 69416. Okay. So here, this is step number 3. We're basically going from a z-score to a percent. And what we just found out is this whole yellow region is 0.69416. But I need to find more than, so I'm going to have to do some subtraction here. Okay, so essentially what we have is we have yellow plus red equals 1. And the yellow region we got to be 69416. And I'm just going to subtract that from both sides. And I will get the red region is equal to 0.385. And if I write a sentence to help you understand this, if you change it to a percent, 30.85% of bags of chips weigh more than 33 grams. Okay, that is A1. Let's move on to A2. I'm going to draw myself a picture. We know that the mean is 31. And we're trying to find ones that are less than 24. So x equals 24, so something like this. And remember, the shaded region is going from left to right. Okay. Step 2, we're going to use our formula. And that is z equals x minus the mean over the standard deviation, where our expected, what do we call this thing? Observed value is x, which is 24, and the mean is 31. And then the standard deviation is 4, right? We're basically using 31 and 4 for the whole problem. So this will give us a score of, a z-score of negative 1.75. Okay. So now I need to take the z-score, so step number 3. We need to go from a z-score to a percent. So we're going to look up z equals negative 1.25. Okay, here's my table. That's nice because I'm already on the negatives. So negative 1.75 is here. And then I need to look here. So that would go all the way down this value right here. Negative 1.75 is 0.04006. 0.04006. 0.04006. Okay? That means that this red region represents 0.04006, and that's all I needed to find. So the red region is basically, remember, move it 2 decimal places, 4.006%. Let's use the same sentence as we did before. 4.006% of bags, weigh less than 24 grams. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to now A4. All right, let's go over A4. Remember now, we're using this information up here that the mean is 31 and the standard deviation is 4. So step number 1 is to draw a picture. And the mean here is 31. And the percent of bags that weigh more than 40. So 40 is up here. And we're basically trying to find this area. Now remember, the z-scores will only find percents going from left to right. So essentially what we're going to figure out is basically this yellow area, and we'll use that to subtract it from 1 to find the green area. So step number 2 is to use a formula. Z equals x minus the mean over the standard deviation. So the mean was 31, standard deviation was 4, and then the value we need is 40. And if you recognize what's happening, some kind of hints here is when you put the standard deviation and you get a z-score, you're going to get a positive number, right? 9 divided by 4 is a positive number. And that should tell you that it's over here to the right. Okay, so 9 divided by 4 will give me a z-score of 2.25. Okay, this is now the step where we are basically looking from a z-score to a percentage, and I'm using the chart. So let's go ahead and look at the chart here. 2.25, let's pick a color hopefully we have not used, maybe yellow. Okay, so here is 2, and here is 5. 98778. 98778. Okay, basically this chart tells us a percent. The standardized score, the z-score tells us a percent. So the yellow is equal to that amount. So if you think about this, let me write it out here. So right now we're doing step number 4 is we're just going to solve. I'm trying to find the green area, and I'm going to have to do yellow plus green equals 1. The yellow is equal to 0.98778. And if I subtract this from both sides, we're going to get the green area to be 0.0122. This means that there is a 1.22% chance that the chip bag, now I'm using the sentence, right, weighs more than 40 grams. And that's A4. Let's try A5. The percent of bags that will be discarded because they weigh less than, so that means it's going towards the left, 2 standard deviations below the mean. Let's get a picture. Here's my curve. The mean we got from the directions is 31. Okay, so using the standard deviation, remember 2 standard deviations below means that negatives are going left. And then what I'm doing is I'm just subtracting 4. So this would be 27, this would be 23. So it doesn't say 23, but I figured it out by subtracting 4 twice, because that's 2 standard deviations below. Here's another way of figuring out 2 standard deviations below. Well, we know the standard deviation is 4 in this problem, so that's minus 8 from the center. So 31 minus 8 is 23. So basically what we're doing is we're just figuring out this red area. So 2, let's go ahead and use the formula. z equals x minus the mean over the standard deviation. Again, I got 23. I got 23 by subtracting 2 standard deviations away from the center. The mean is 31. And our standard deviation is 4. So this will give us negative 8 divided by 4, which is negative 2. And we already knew that, right? We already knew that it was negative 2 because it's negative 2 standard deviations away. Okay, so this is now our third step, where we're going to change the z-score to a percent. Z-score to a percent. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and use our chart. All right, negative 2 is here, and 0 is right there, so 0.02275. 0.02275. That's actually our answer. 0.2275. 0.2275. 0.2275. 0.2275. Okay, that represents our red area. Remember, if you multiply this number by 100, you get a percent. So there is a there is a 2.275% chance that a bag of chips will, now I'm just using the sentence above, right? Will weigh less than 2 standard deviations below the mean. And this is our answer. Let's go to A6. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is draw a picture. And remember, we get the center or the mean from the directions. It'll tell you the mean is 31. And you need to locate 37.25. So that's just a number bigger than 31. So you can just arbitrarily put it here. And it says weighs less, which means we're going to find a percent under the curve using our z-score. So let's write down the formula. Z equals x minus the mean over the standard deviation. That is our observed value. Our mean was given in the directions, and the standard deviation was 4. So I will get a value that is z equals 6.25 over 4. So I have a z-score of 1.5625. And I'm just going to round, it's approximate. So a z-score of 1.57. Okay, step number 3 is to go from a z-score to a percent. And we do that by looking at the chart. So let's go ahead and look at the chart. Okay, I have the negatives. So if I go to the second page, I get positives. and I have, we said 1.57. So down here, let's write that number down, 0.94179. All right, our value is 0.94179. Okay, so that is the green area. So number 4 is solving it. Well, remember, the z-score is always going from left to that number. So the green area is basically 0.94179. There is a, remember, just multiply by 100, 94.179% chance a chip bag, which is a big number, right? 94% chance weighs less than 37.25 grams.
I love math, so I'm here to remind, not to write in ink, but use pencil, because everyone makes mistakes, and everyone has those days. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, don't write in ink.